I'm one of the lucky ones. I made a little bit of money. I don't have 50 million to bet with you, but I do have 3 million to bet with you. So this is your offer. $3 million. You put 3, I put 3. Winner takes all. I'm 5 years out the ring. I'm a kickboxer.
Joe Rogan just revealed why Jake Paul, the so-called boxing prodigy, turned down Andrew Tate's fight offer. And it's wild. Jake didn't just reject the fight. He flat out walked away from a $3 million payday. The big question is why? Is Jake afraid of losing, or does he only fight when the odds are safely in his favor? Critics are now wondering if his unscripted boxing...
If you want to fight and you want to send a contract, send one to me. I will take a few weeks break from living my retired life to kick the living out of a goofy, entitled dickhead like you. You know my name, Andrew Tate. Google it if you want to know more.
Boxing career is anything but authentic. Andrew Tate's challenge was savage, but Jake's refusal speaks volumes. Rogan didn't hold back, calling out Jake's strategy of cherry-picking.
As a boxer?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And listen, what Jake Paul has accomplished is he's fighting old guys.
Yes.
He's fighting, all he fights are old guys and whatever. But listen, say what you want, he wins. And he makes money. So he's doing his thing, you know?
Work. Go. Work. Come on, Marcus. Keep going. Work. Come on, fight. Make it. Hey. 20 seconds. Come on, 20 seconds to work, Marcus. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, work. Work. Good. Work. 10 seconds. Work.
Picking opponents to protect his reputation. It seems the self-proclaimed fighter who takes on all challenges is nowhere to be found when a real test comes knocking. This drama is overflowing with ego, excuses, and some hilariously transparent...
Yeah, he'll never do that, though. He knows. He knows way.
One, he's under contract. And
he's
two,
not his own boss.
And two, he won't do it. He knows better. He might
and it's funny to say, like, yo, Conor McGregor is scared of Jake Paul. Will never.
Truths. Between Tate's relentless call-outs and Rogan's pointed commentary, Jake's play-it-safe approach has been exposed. The question remains, when will Jake Paul face a challenge he can't duck? Jake Paul's strategy is becoming painfully clear, and even his most loyal fans are starting to catch on. His latest rumored opponent? Mike Tyson, a retired heavyweight legend who can sell tickets, but...
Somebody like me, he'd mentioned me before, and there'll be people out there saying, oh, Carl Froch's talking about himself, he's after a payday. Listen, I'm not after a payday. I'm doing all right. There's no problems with my finances.
No longer has the speed to pose a real threat. Joe Rogan didn't hold back on his podcast, highlighting Jake's pattern of hand-picking opponents. He's fighting old, undersized guys, Rogan said, calling out the obvious. The moment someone younger, faster, and more dangerous like Andrew Tate challenges him, Jake retreats. Rogan went further, suggesting Jake's refusal to fight Tate reveals his priorities, preserving his record.
When you see some of these crossover fights, obviously I know that you and Jake Paul have had your disagreements. Do you think that Jake's gotten better as a boxer?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And listen, what Jake Paul has accomplished is he's fighting old guys.
Yes.
He's fighting, all he fights are old guys and whatever. But listen, say what you want, he wins. And he makes money. So he's doing his thing, you know.
Over proving himself as a legitimate fighter. It's a sharp critique, but one that resonates. While Jake markets himself as a fearless contender, his actions tell a different story. Now, let's talk about Andrew Tate. He isn't just an internet personality chasing clout. He's a former kickboxing world champion with something to prove. Tate didn't just challenge Jake. He dared him. His $3 million offer wasn't a publicity stunt. It was a statement. Tate knew Jake wouldn't take the fight and wanted everyone to see why. When Jake ghosted him, Tate doubled down, calling him out again and driving the point home. Jake's career is built on scripted fights against safe opponents. There's a difference between training and being a fighter, Tate said, delivering a savage truth that cut deep.
Two brothers, one cage. Jake Logan, you Tristan. Who comes out alive?
You know what? I'm trying so hard to not start internet beefs. I'm really trying not to.
You could say Jake and Logan, man.
Bro,
don't worry about it.
No, I can't lie. Bro, I'm going through life. I'm trying to live peaceful now. I've got Fed agents in my house. Matrix is after me. I'm just trying to live peaceful. But of course, I have absolute faith in myself and my brother, and I know what we've been through, and I know the kind of men.
Prime fighters destroy hobbyists. Tate's call-out wasn't just about boxing, it was a direct hit to Jake's entire brand, leaving fans and critics alike questioning whether Jake is truly a fighter or just playing one. Jake Paul's silence after Andrew Tate's second challenge was deafening. For someone who never stops hyping his fights, Jake suddenly had nothing to say. Fans, who had been eagerly anticipating a Paul Tate showdown, were left scratching their heads. If it feels like Jake just got hit with a verbal 1-2 combo, it's because this saga is delivering more punches than Jake likely ever will in a real fight. So why did Jake opt to fight Mike Tyson instead of Andrew?
Andrew, fighter, legitimate, badass motherfucker, strong mentality. Sorry, Tristan Tate is the weak link.
I say let's
He
run
got a bad shoulder. He's shaped like a gingerbread man. I don't want no beef, but that's delusion.
PFO will set this up.
A MMA double tag team match.
10 million for everybody.
You might have a fight.
Tate. Simple. Tyson is the safer choice. Sure, Tyson is a boxing icon, but he's also 57 years old and far past his prime. Jake knew he could control the narrative with a Tyson fight. It would sell pay-per-views because of Tyson's legendary name, not because it posed any real challenge. Most importantly, Jake knew it wouldn't jeopardize his carefully crafted record. Now, compare that to Andrew Tate. Tate is in his mid-30s, in peak physical condition, and has years of combat sports experience. He's unpredictable, skilled, and completely uninterested in playing Jake's game. A fight with Tate wouldn't just risk Jake's winning streak, it could expose him entirely.
Why don't you lose to an old man who's retired? I live in the real f***ing world, Jake. There's a whole bunch of fighters out here who live in the real f***ing world. Men who are dangerous and dedicated their lives to this sport and don't have a f***ing fraction of the money you have because you've managed to become a f***ing clown.
Jake's strategy is clear. Pick opponents who boost his brand without threatening his image. Against someone like Tate, however, the script wouldn't just flip, it'd shatter. Joe Rogan didn't hold back when discussing Jake Paul's decision to fight Mike Tyson instead of Andrew Tate. Jake Paul
Keep going. Come on, work. Go. Work. Come on, Marcus. Keep going. Work. Come on, fight. Make it. Come on, 20 seconds to walk, Steve. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
doesn't want to fight who he can't control, Rogan said, slicing through Jake's carefully crafted image like a hot knife through butter. And he's absolutely right. Jake's entire career has been about control, controlling his opponents, the narrative, and the spectacle. But Andrew Tate represents the one thing Jake can control, a real challenge. If Jake thought his fans wouldn't notice his dodge, he was sorely mistaken. Social media exploded with criticism, and the backlash was brutal. Fans didn't hold back, calling Jake a coward, a fraud, and worse. Even some of Jake's own supporters admitted that choosing Tyson over Tate...
Best boxer on the planet is? Jake Paul. Why? I mean, who's doing it? I mean, if Mike Tyson says, let's do this, are you down? 100%.
I'm gonna make Mike my girlfriend.
Would you fight Mike Tyson? Again, no, because he's now old, and it would be an absolutely tragic shame to knock out an old version of his prime self. That doesn't feel fair. Prime Tyson would have ripped me apart in a boxing match, so to beat him when he's past his prime is dishonorable, and I'd feel dirty for doing that. So there's no amount of money on the planet that could convince me to fight.
Was a bad look. The internet never forgets, and this move might haunt Jake for the rest of his career. Tate's fans, naturally, were more than happy to pile on, flooding Jake's social media with taunts and reminding everyone that Jake had no intention of facing a real fighter. Tate himself didn't miss a beat, calling Jake out for being scared.
I'm known as a fighter in a way that he never will be. I'm known as a fighter in the way that if you throw me in a cell with a murderer, a rapist, and 2 drug dealers, people look at me and go, oh, hey, respect. He would have left with a higher male body count than his fiancée. That's how he would have left.
And reiterating his challenge, it was a masterclass in psychological warfare, and Jake had no response. Rogan's comments only added fuel to the fire. He didn't just expose Jake's strategy, he completely dismantled it. He's avoiding young, competitive opponents, Rogan said, and it's hard to argue with that assessment. Every opponent Jake has faced so far has either been past their prime, out of their weight class, or out of their depth. Jake's carefully curated career is starting to show cracks. Fighting Andrew Tate would have been Jake Paul's chance to silence his critics and prove he's more than just a YouTuber with a decent punch. Instead, he took the easy way out, and Joe Rogan wasn't about to let him off. Jake's decision to reject Tate's $3 million fight offer hasn't just
Jake Paul can fight. It's not like Jake Paul can't fight.
Yeah.
Jake Paul just won't fight anybody.
Damaged his reputation. It's exposed the fundamental weakness in his entire brand. For years, Jake has marketed himself as a fearless competitor, but this saga has shattered that image. Fans are now seeing him for what he really is, a businessman more interested in selling fights than proving himself as a boxer. The big question now is, where does Jake go from here? Will he keep dodging real opponents, risking further backlash, or will he finally step up and face someone like Andrew Tate? The longer he avoids fighters like Tate, the more his reputation will suffer. Tate and Rogan have exposed Jake in a way no opponent ever has,
not even funny, bro.
revealing
he
the cracks in his armor.
Just one punch,
Jake
punch
can
knockout.
keep pretending to be
Look
the
at the
future of
physical
boxing,
Jake as well.
but as long as he continues to avoid real challenges, that narrative will crumble. His empire
it's
of
gonna be
hype and
everything, man.
half-truths is on
It's basically
shaky
30
ground.
minutes of hell to
Unless he
simulate what the
changes
fight is
course,
gonna be like.
it's
Never know what's
only a
gonna be
matter
coming
of
at you in
time
the
before
fight.
it
You're gonna
all
get your eye poked, you
collapses.
can get blood in your eye.
The world
like
is
my last
watching,
fight.
and Jake's next move will decide his legacy.